Welcome back, everybody. So glad you could be with me here today. What a glorious day today is. So, as promised, we're going to open up and test out this replacement plane blade sent to me by Lake Erie Toolworks. Now, might be able to hear me better today. I have my microphone on. So, Lake Erie Toolworks began mainly making the wooden screws for bench vices. And they have expanded into other tools. And what we have here is a CPM MagnaCut. All right, the MagnaCut is a powdered metal blade. So this would be a lot like your Veritas blades, your PBM blades. Now, I've never used powdered metal blades. I've never been interested in them because they reminded me of carbide. And as we all know, carbide holds an edge, but it does not get a keen edge. So according to this, it's got an ultra-fine grain structure with hard vanadium and, oh boy, niobium carbides for incredible wear resistance. Okay. It says it hones to an exceedingly sharp edge, and you'll have to sharpen less, and your blade will last longer. Double tempered and cryogenically treated to Rockwell C62. So what that tells me is C62 is about where most tool steels for woodworking tools are hardened and tempered. You want it hard enough to hold an edge, but you want it tempered to make it more durable. So I don't know if you've ever done any metalworking, but basically metal can get very, very hard, but then it becomes brittle. So you have to temper it. Temper it back brings it to a little bit more of a flexible state. So here's what we got. Shiny, clean metal from the factory. It says Lake Erie Toolworks. Don't know if you can see that. Let's see. There we go. All right, Lake Erie Toolworks. And this one happens to be, and I'm hoping, yes, 2 3/8, so it can go in my number 6. That's great. All right. It looks like as it comes from the factory, it is just ground, no honing. Okay. And if I look at the edge up to light, you can see the grinding lines. They transfer up to the edge. Now, I'm going to be doing something today a little different than what most people do. Most people go and they go to their stone or their diamond plate and they flatten the back. I'm not even going to go there, all right? Because what I'm going to be doing is I'll be using the ruler trick or the ruler method, all right? And that'll be good enough for me. So because this is fresh off the grinding wheel, I will probably go to a 180 stone, which is diamond honed. Then I'll go to the 300. I'll flip it over. I'll go to the 1000. And then I have a hard Arkansas that I might use or I might even, no, the Arkansas should be good enough. I would normally go to a strop next, but we'll just use what we have here today. So the first thing I want to do is put a little bit of honing oil on a cloth and see if there's any residue oils and stuff. We'll get that off of there. Now, in holding this, I can feel all the machined edges are quite sharp. You can feel all the edges are quite sharp. So that might be something you want to soften. So this is my typical sharpening routine. No jigs, no gauges, no blocks, no nothing. So we put a little bit of fluid down on the 180. I put it down on the diamond plate, lift it up until I feel it sitting flat, and then I give it a few strokes. Take a look at it. Very nice. I might not have to go too much further on the 180. So hit the heel first, lift up until you feel it rocking until it sits flat, and then you give it a few strokes. And I'm starting to see sharpening out at the edge, so I'm going to stop with the 180. Wipe that off. I'm going to go to the 300. Heel, up, right there. I have a burr on the back. So what I'll do at this point is I'll take my little ruler, I'll put it down on the diamond plate, lay the blade down, and just pull back and forward at the same time. And that got rid of the burr. Now I flip over. Remember, this is a brand new blade, never been used. Lift up. Find the flat, you find the bevel. Now I don't care if you use a figure 8 pattern, straight back and forth, circular. Everybody has their own routine. But you want to just make sure you stay on that bevel. I got a burr again. Just want to do one more thing here. Okay, it's starting to come around. Ruler trick. Down on the stone. Now with this one, I'm going to give it a few additional strokes back and forth. So I want to try to polish that front edge. And that's it. Maybe just a stroke or two on this side, a stroke on the back. Can't feel the burr. So let's see if I can show you what I've done. So if you remember, we had those lines on the bevel. Those lines are almost all gone. See? Got it polished out. And on the back, there's just a little line of polish on the top edge. Can you see it? Right there. Oh, okay. Just a little line across that top edge. So this is sharp. Now I want to get it a little more keen. So what I'll do is I've got this old, hard Arkansas. This has been around for a long time. I'm going to do the same thing with this heel up to the toe until you feel it rocking. Heel, toe. And then I'm going to just go back and forth with that a few times until I pull a little bit of a burr on the back, or see, some people call this the back of the blade, but if the company's name is on that, that should be called the face of the blade. So this is the face, this is the back, and that's the bevel. Now, this time round, I don't even have to really use the ruler trick. I just lay the blade down and then just lift up slightly and take that burr off. Flat on the stone, just lift up slightly, pull the burr off. So that's sharp. That's all that needs. So we can put the stones away, get that off the workbench. Out of the way. Now, let's get to number 6 here. First thing we do is pop the hood. Get the lever cap off. Take the plain blade set out. And we get our screwdriver. Loosen that up slightly. When you take your blade set apart, you want to slide the chip breaker away from your blade, right? Away from your cutting edge. Then you can turn it left or right, whichever is more comfortable for you, and bring it off. That way, you're not pushing it up over a sharp edge. Now, to show you the difference, this is an original Stanley, and this is the replacement by Lake Erie Toolworks. And they're very close in thickness, but they are, let me put them side by side here. You can see, let's see, there we go. See the thickness difference? All right, I should turn it this way so you can get a better comparison. There you go. So this is a little thicker. We'll see if that gives us any trouble with the mouth opening. So, since this chip breaker is working perfectly fine, we shouldn't have any problems mating it up. So you put a chip breaker on, pivot it around, and then you just slide it up to within, oh, let's start off with what looks like about a 32nd. It's just a fine line. All right. Hand tighten the screw. Tighten the screw. Every time you put your hand plane blade back in, you want to make sure you get any dust or chips out of the mouth area. Okay, we're in. Close the hood. I might have to move that screw a little bit. There we go. There we go. Beautiful. All right. Let's back her off. As far as I can tell, I've got very little or no blade showing. So today we're going to work with this block of basswood to start. Okay. All right, I'm getting shavings on the left side, so I have to push the lever to the left slightly. Okay, I'm still getting shavings on the left. Push the lever to the left, more towards the middle. Advance. Okay. Now, I'm noticing there's not enough room. I'm going to have to move the frog back. So 2 screws on the frog. And this plane does not have an adjustment screw. So you loosen the screws just slightly. I don't like to well, you can't over unloosen them, but I don't want to loosen them too much. I like it to stay snug. And if it doesn't work in this plane, we'll try it in my other number 6. There we go. There we go. So these are the things you have to figure out over time. When you put a thicker blade in, you need to move your frog back. How does that look? Yeah, we got some light now. Okay. That should work better. That should work better now. We start over. Okay. Now we're getting a shaving. Now the one thing I didn't do when sharpening this iron is I didn't put any camber on it. See, we're still clogging. We're still clogging. All right, let's try two things. Let's try. It shouldn't be clogging with that setting. That looks fine. In fact, I'd like to see that a little closer. I'm moving the chip breaker a little closer to the edge. I've got so much light on in here right now so that the camera, that I can't really see like I normally see. All right, let's leave that there. Let's check that frog out one more time. Yeah, that's still too close. Move the frog. So how's your day going today? Anything new and exciting in your neck of the woods? Tell me what you're up to. We hit 51 degrees up here today. February 27th. Tomorrow's last day of February. Is March going to come in like a lion or like a lamb? What do you think? Okay. I tell you, the old timers, they had a lot of sayings to deal with life in general. You know, folks, I think we're going to have to go. No, maybe not. Let's see. Might have to try the other plane. I know this is boring, but this is what you would go through buying a new blade and trying to get it set up. And yep, that is not going to work in this plane. Let's try the other plane. If it doesn't work out, I'm going to have to get back to you on this one. Let's see. This one's a lot closer. Maybe this one will work. You can see the setup here. This tool steel, machine tool steel blade is a little bit thicker. And this plane has an adjusting screw, so let's see. All right. Where are we? There we are. So as I mentioned, I didn't put any camber on this, so the corners are actually going to cut in. Okay, that's a little more promising. Back it off a little bit. That sounds better. All right. Let's pull it over this way. There we go. That's a hefty shaving. All right, now we're in business. Let's see how thin we can go. Okay. So there we are. Nice and thin. So how does it do on a wide face? Now what's interesting about this basswood is it has a slight curl to it. Makes it a little bit more difficult to plane. So we're getting nice shavings, telling me the chip breaker said okay. So let's see how it does. Let's see how it does on some oak. I have some oak here. Some red oak. Very nice. So there you go. One thing to consider when you're looking at a replacement blade for your plane is if it's too thick and you can't move your frog back enough. I think that's cutting a little bit of air. You might have to file the mouth open a little bit. There we go. There we go. Now mind you, this plane is the one with the cracks in it. So it's not going to perform perfectly. So I'll get back to you. We'll leave this blade in this plane while I work on it on projects, and we'll see how the iron holds up. But if you're interested, contact Lake Erie Toolworks. Can you see that? Lake Erie Toolworks.com. info@LakeErieToolworks.com. And there's the phone number there. 814-528-4337. And tell them that you saw this on YouTube. Dusty Splinters, Plain Talk. Your good buddy Walter. That's a nice shaving. Next up, when you see me next, we'll open up the Clifton. Now, I don't have a micrometer, so I can't tell you how thick these are. But they say you can sense 1/1000th of an inch with your finger. That's pretty thin. I don't know. Don't know what it is. But the next one up is going to be the Clifton 4.5. We'll get that out of the box. Hone an edge on that one. Show you how it came from the factory. Look at that. I'm trying to see with my light here. Yeah, polished. You can see the shine on it. See that? Nice and shiny. That's about it for today. I really appreciate you stopping by, and if you hung with me all the way through this, you deserve a medal. Tinkering around with all that. I might make a shorter version after this, just so that people with a little less patience can just see how the tool works. But head out to your shop. Go make some shavings. Walter out.